I am not who I was in my 20s, but I'm definitely not who I thought I would be in my 30s. And nobody talks about how uncomfortable that is. So we're going to talk about it today. Let's get into it. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the coziest corner of the internet. I am so excited. I love doing my podcast now because of this set. I've always loved doing the podcast, but for some reason, just having like this set is just like chef's kiss. I absolutely love it, adore it, everything, all the things. I'm so excited for today because I feel like this is something that I've been kind of like thinking about. So it's going to be more of like a brain dump episode, just because if I'm going to be honest, I've been trying to record this for an hour at this point. My camera died at one point. My iPad went off, so my audio stopped recording. My brother called me in the middle, so then that stopped. So I was just like, you know what? Forget the notes. We're doing this kind of like just yapping brain dump style, and I'm excited. But before we get into that, I do want to do our community connect, our community chat, our community talk, community engagement, cozy community engagement. I don't like, what do we want to call this part? I want to start featuring you guys here. So when you guys answer the questions, I will put them here. I know on YouTube you can send a voice note, so we can also do voice notes, like put your voice on the podcast. I think that would be really cool. But just let me know, answer the question in the comments of wherever you're listening to this episode or any episode, and I will check them and you could be featured on the Cozy and Thriving podcast. So the question of the day is, what's something new that you're learning? Personally, I am learning about investing. I just started maybe a couple of days ago. For you, it'll be a couple days ago. For me, it was last night. Last night was the first night that I actually put some money into some investing and putting my savings into something that was actually going to start making more money for me. And I definitely don't know. I probably know like 2% of the entire like investing world, so don't ask me any questions, but there are a couple of books and things that I want to get, and so I will give you obviously my resources when I have them. But the podcast I'm listening to is Friends That Invest, and the book is also called Friends That Invest. And I think to me, just listening to somebody who can break it down in a way that I can understand. We have some smart people. We have some very smart people in this world, but sometimes the smartness goes right over my head. I like to consider myself a smart person, but there are some words and some lingo and some things that I just don't understand. And investing is one of them. So I'm trying to learn the best that I can. So that would be the thing that I'm learning. Let me know, like I said, in the comments. I want to hear from you as well and feature you guys on the podcast. Hi, I'm so sorry to interrupt, but before we dive back into the episode, I have something really special that I've been working on and I want to share it with you. I created this show because I wanted to build a space where we could all embrace being cozy and celebrate the life you actually want to be present for. So I'm officially inviting you to join the Cozy Girls Club. For a long time, I've wanted pieces that represented this community, but actually looked good. Like high quality, I'm wearing this out of the house on a coffee run good. I didn't want loungewear you'd only wear to bed or to paint the house in, because trust me, I get it. We all have t-shirts that we wish we could throw away, but they are merch. So this isn't just a merch drop, it's our community's uniform. And we're just getting started because I have mugs, I have accessories and new things that I want to be dropping and adding all the time. So whether you're grabbing your Cozy Girls Club dad hat or you're just wearing the Forever My Cozy Era sweatshirt, because trust me, I have lived in this thing for like over a year now, this collection is for you. So you can find the entire collection and grab your gear right now at cozy-and-thriving.square.site. Again, that's cozy-and-thriving.square.site, and it will always be in the show notes for you. Okay, interruption over. Let's get back to the conversation. Okay, so let's get into the episode here. Okay, I do have my notes. I do want to stay kind of on track because I could yap for a really long time, and I've already been yapping for a really long time. But obviously my technology and all the things just weren't cooperating today, but I want to stay on task so we don't go like so long. Um, I want to like paint a reality for you because this is something that I've actually thought about for a really, really, really long time. And I don't know if it's a thought that needs developing or if it's just something that just is what it is. But I truly believe that we all are living this life for the first time and we can't fault people for living life for the first time. Does that make sense? Like, okay, let's think about it like this. A newborn comes out of the womb, and the first thing that like most people say they want to hear is the cry. I believe when they cry, it's like a almost like a startling feeling. Like it's like, oh my gosh, I'm out of the womb. I am now like I just felt this weird air go into my lungs that I wasn't feeling before. I'm hearing all of this noise. I'm seeing bright light. Like there's a lot of things that are happening when a baby is born. It's probably a very traumatic experience and it's probably a good thing that none of us remember it. Like I don't know. I don't remember it. I don't think any of us remember it. I think it's probably a pretty traumatic thing, so I'm glad that it happens like young. But anyways, so you have that and then you have like people in their like 50s and 60s, they're like they're like getting into this middle age like life. They've lived a long life, they've built up a career, they've built up whatever they're doing, and now they're like thinking about retirement, they're thinking about what they're going to do next, they're thinking more about um just like life in general, I believe. And then you have people that are even older than that, elderly people where their bodies are a little bit more brittle. They're learning how to like how to live in a body that has lived for as long as they have. Um I actually think it's like so cool like how we age and how we grow. It's just like showing like okay, we've spent time here. We've spent our lives doing things. I think it's cool. But anyways, um, and then you have people like us who are probably like, you're probably in your late 20s, early 30s. The analytics tell me that you guys are around that age. There's just like this weird in between where I thought I would be somewhere completely different by now. And I'm not mad that I'm not there. I will say, I'm not like regretting life. I'm not regretting my decisions and the things that I've done. But at the same time, I think there was this weird change, this weird like mindset change that happened that I was almost afraid to let people see or afraid to let loose until I fully understood it. And I don't think that it's something to be afraid of. I think it's something that we should lean into because we do change, we do evolve. Who I was in high school is not the same person that I am now. I might have the same voice. I might kind of act the same. I might kind of have the same personality, but my confidence level is so much higher. The thought process behind which I do things is so much more thoughtful. I am wiser. I feel like I've grown up for real. I know, like, we joke about this all the time. Like, kids nowadays, they like are in middle school and look beautiful, and you go back to like our middle school pictures and we're like, who in the world was that? What were we doing? Why did people talk to me? But basically, so yeah, there's just like there's things that are different about me. But I think the biggest thing that I had to actually learn was okay that I was changing in was the fact that I wasn't following a path that was uh quote unquote normal. I went to school for a semester right after high school. If you guys have been here, you probably have heard me tell this story. But I went to school right after high school, first semester. And then I remember vividly going to my mom and being like, what would you say if I said that I didn't want to go back to school? And she was like, it's your life. You can do what you want. If that's your decision, it's your decision. And so I was like, okay, cool. I'm not going back because my thought process then was, I'm going to start a photography company and I don't need the degree for a photography company. Like I can just do photography. I can learn photography on YouTube. I can practice. I was already doing like photography and art and all that stuff in high school. Like I learned how to develop my own film. I learned how to shoot on a film camera. I learned how to do portrait photography and like the ins and outs of photography in high school. And so going out of high school, I felt like I have this in the bag. I've already been doing a business since I was 16, off and on, and I can just like full in dive in with this photography business. So that already shows like I've always been ambitious. I knew at the age of 7 that I wanted to be a photographer. And I just remember loving the camera and loving being behind it, loving capturing things. And I told my husband one time, I was like, photography is the only thing in the world that can freeze time. And he was like, I know you feel so cool for that. And I was like, I kind of do, but it also is kind of just like a truth. It's like the one thing on this earth that we can like take picture of and it be a memory and like freeze a moment. I think it's just really cool. Rabbit trail, like I said, this is why I have my notes here, because I go on like these tangents. But yeah, so I quit school. Then I started working full time because obviously my business wasn't generating like income at that point. Also, social media wasn't what it was, so it wasn't like posting, "Hey, I'm a photographer," like trying to get all these leads and things from social media. That was not a thing. So now I think we have more access to like promotion and doing things through social media, but back then it was word of mouth and actually talking to people, going to networking events and all the things. I was an introvert and shy and did not want to do any of those things. I wouldn't say shy. I just actually didn't want to do it. I guess you can call that shy, but I was like, yeah, I just don't want to do that. I feel awkward talking to people. I don't know. I don't want to do that. So, um, I started working full-time job. Then I started going back to school. I was just like praying. I felt like one, I needed a new change of scenery. Like I needed to get out of the crowds that I was in. I needed to get out of the city that I was in. I grew up in that city, and I was just like, there are too many memories and bad things. I wouldn't say bad things. There was a lot of good things there too, but there was just like a lot of things that I felt like were holding me back, and so I had to leave. And my thought process in that was, well, one, God is bringing me here, but two, this is an opportunity for me to be who I want to be without having all of these people have this backstory and this history of who I am and who they think I am. Unfortunately for me, I cannot act and I cannot be anything different. So I brought that same vibe, that same personality, that same everything to where I am now, which is a good thing. But I felt like that also kind of like then put me back in the same predicament that I was in. Like, okay, now these people have some history with me, and now if I decide to change or I decide to do something else, it's going to look different because that's not who I brought to them at first. And that in between where it's just like, oh my gosh, I'm turning into this person, I'm turning into this confident person, but you still see me as this non-confident person, or you still see me as this person who isn't growing, or you still see me as this person who is like this. It's just uncomfortable because it's like, wait, Michaela's doing that? Michaela is a podcaster? Michaela's doing content creation? Michaela's doing that? Like, content creation was so, like, cringy, I feel like. Like, if you wanted to be an influencer back then, it was just, like, so cringy. And I remember, like, not telling anybody. I had a, like, hair YouTube channel where I would, like, do my hair. I had a YouTube channel where me and my cousin and my brothers would do, like, parodies. I had a YouTube channel that was literally just me and my brothers doing the craziest things. And even like the YouTube channel that I have, that's like my personal one that I just don't do anything on. I do have videos that are like privated on there that I'm just kind of like, what in the world? Like I've always been making videos. I've always been wanting to be around cameras and doing something, but I've always been too nervous to like put it out there. So I think when I put it out there, it was just like, wait, Michaela's actually doing this for real. Michaela's actually trying to do this. What is happening? What's going on? And then having people in your life that you're around all the time, seeing you grow and evolve, and they're just kind of like, yeah, when I first met you, I remember you like would not want to be on camera. You were so awkward, you were so shy. And then to now, like I have a whole podcast, video podcast at that. I am doing content creation and I am like constantly putting myself on display for everyone to see, it does feel uncomfortable. It does feel cringy. But at the same time, that's who I'm becoming. One, that's what I've always been wanting to do. But now I'm just more confident in doing it. And I think that's where the mindset shift has to come from is like, okay, I wasn't confident in where I was, but I have always been this person. I'm just now kind of like letting it go. And so to go back to the beginning when I said, I'm not who I was in my 20s, but I'm also not where I thought I would be in my 30s. There was also a lot of things that I thought would happen in my 20s that didn't happen. And there were a lot of things that did happen that I thought would happen, but my life looks so much different than what I thought it would look like. But I'm not upset. I'm not mad. I'm not like bitter about it. I think that, you know, one, God has me and he knows the desires of my heart. But at the same time, I also believe that there's just like so much like that I have to learn. And I'm just on a different path than other people. I'm on a different wavelength than other people. And the quote unquote normal thing to do was to go to university for 4 years, get a job, climb the corporate ladder, and then by 30, I would be able to like have, a house and a family and a bunch of cars and all the things that we do in society because they tell us that's what we're supposed to do. But instead, yes, I am married and I do have a car and I'm renting, which I absolutely love my apartment. You guys, I love it. It's so cozy. I am like, this is me and my husband have lived in 3 different apartments. This one's my favorite. And the only downside, well, there's 2 downsides to this apartment was one, the last apartment we were in, I lived a mile away from the beach. So it was so nice. I could walk to the beach and we just had more walkability and there was more things to do like around to walk. But then also I am not a fan of like neighborhoods that don't have sidewalks. I don't know if it's because I'm a walker or if it's just because I think they look weird, but my neighborhood doesn't have a sidewalk. So that's the other thing. But they're not big enough issues for me to leave anytime soon. But yeah, I love my apartment. Again, rabbit hole. Anyways, there were things that I definitely wanted and things that there's places where I thought I would be by 30 and things that I thought that I would have by 30, but I don't have them. And I can't go back and say, oh, well, if I just did this differently, or if I just, did the normal thing first and then did this, or if I just allowed myself to like stick with this one thing. Like, for instance, if I was doing press on nails, I did press on nails for 3 years. I absolutely love doing nails, but I realized I did not like doing nails that much for other people. And a product based business is a lot more investment. I think it's one of those things where I just did not have enough confidence to continue to go, I would say. I think that there was a lot of things I was seeing a lot of people do a lot more in terms of like growth and education and all the things in the nail space that I wasn't able to do at that time. And so I just felt like I was getting behind. And again, that's like a comparison game I didn't want to play. So I like pivoted, but it was a pivot into something that I actually really enjoyed doing, which was content creation. Content creation is I still feel like it is such a taboo job when you tell people who don't understand that you want content creation to be your business. You're going to have people that don't understand. There's going to be, I feel like, an internal struggle that you have just because you're a human. But I think at the same time, when you're able to allow yourself to just be like, you know what, I'm changing and that's okay. I'm growing and that's okay. And for whatever reason, you think that the people around you have to be on board, just let it go. Personally, I told my husband, I was like, if God said it, then I don't care who it is. me and him got this down, and people are going to be talking. People can talk, people will talk, but that's just kind of like, that's just life. That's just life. No matter what happens, no matter what you do, that's just life. So I'm proud of myself. I am staying on track so far, but I do want to talk about like an identity shift. And just some of the things that I thought that I did that helped me personally. But this is something that you can do to kind of like go back and think about, okay, what do I want to do, or what did I do that's actually helping me move forward in the life that I want to be present for and build the business I want to be present for. So before, I guess you could say that I was shy. I know as a kid I was definitely very shy. I think when I became a teenager, I wasn't really shy. I just didn't really like attention. I was not the one that I wanted to be like front row, center, everybody eyes on me. I was not that type of person ever. And still to this day, I don't think I'm that way at all. Um, so it is weird that I'm a content creator because that's what happens. You're like trying to get people's attention to like look at you, watch you, comment, interact with you. And that's just like not my personality. I think that people would also say that I was quiet. I, one, felt like I didn't have anything to say, or two, I thought that if I were to state my opinion and people didn't agree, that I would be like in this debate and I didn't know how to debate. So I think those were the two reasons why people would say I was quiet. I also know that I was super like hesitant just because, again, it's people around you. And I realized that I just need to not be like, doing that is being a people pleaser. And I'm not trying to please people at all, ever. I think that when you like set yourself up as a people pleaser, that you will be disappointed over and over and over again, and you will never feel fulfilled because every person is going to like have a different viewpoint of you, or a different view of what they think that you should be doing. And I also was just unsure how to show up like in anything that I did. I started a photography business and didn't know how to promote it. I started a nail business and didn't think that I was smart enough to talk about education, but I also was not like on a basic level of like, here, I'm just starting, like, look at my new design. Like, I definitely thought I was better than a beginner. And I guess I was, because I literally have been doing my nails since I was like 9 or 10. So I have been in the nail space for a while, but I didn't know all the ins and outs. But now the things that I feel like I've done well and that have helped me are the podcast. Even if you aren't somebody who wants to do a podcast or like has a desire to do a podcast, I think that if you are anything like me, your personality is anything like me, just doing voice notes and talking to yourself, talking in the car. I remember I wanted to do a podcast called Car Rides with Mac because that's where I always had the best thoughts, was in the car. I didn't know how feasible that would be because I'm driving, there's a lot going on, setting up a camera, a mic, all the things, it just would have been too much. But I think that it was a good idea just because of, that was where I had the best thoughts. So instead of doing that, every time I had a thought or something that I wanted to like actually talk about on a podcast, I would just like talk about it in my notes. Like I would just share what was on my brain in my voice notes app. And I think that helped me, one, be more confident in how I spoke, but also be more confident in knowing and thinking that I can do this podcast. And I'm just so proud of myself for actually doing it because it really has helped me in how I speak. It's helped me in my confidence. It's helped me develop like my own thought pattern and be able to like speak my mind more. I also just jumped out there and started doing things. You would be so surprised. When I started my nail business, I was going to be a faceless nail account. I was. And then like little by little, I started showing my face. Little by little, I started talking to the camera. Little by little, I started doing all of these extra things to where now I'm like look at my face and only my face. Unless you listen to my podcast, look at my set. But I'm I'm primarily doing like talk to cam content. Like that's what I do. Um and I think that it's crazy because I'm not finished. I'm still evolving. I'm still learning, but I think just keep going and doing the thing is actually the only thing that's going to get you to where you want to be. I also realized I started my editing company last year, and my editing has gotten so much better. And I think one, because I have been doing content creation, but also I've been editing for other people. So everybody has like different editing styles that they like. People have different fonts and transitions and ways that they want their stuff edited. So I've like learned the patterns and learned how to do certain things that if you asked me to do 2 years ago, I would have been like, absolutely not. I don't know how to do that. Use CapCut. Use another editing platform because I can't. Um, but now I can. And I think that's I'm just like I'm more confident in what my abilities are. I'm more confident in how I speak. I'm more confident in how I approach people, and that hasn't always been the case. So if I had to leave you with anything, I have a couple of things here. Is that people think becoming your future self just happens over time. Like you just wake up one day and you're her. But what I truly believe is that it's actually waking up every single morning, every single day, and choosing to keep going, even when things don't feel clear. Yes, I'm not who I thought I would be at 30, but I'm definitely a better version. I think I'm a better person because of it. I think I've grown a lot because of it. And I don't think that there's any decision or anything that I did that I regret, because if I took any one of those things away, I think that I would be in a totally different place. If I stayed all 4 years in my community college the first time, I would not be I would not have be where I am. I would not have met my husband, who was also into like film and everything, who had helped me literally. I feel like because he was on camera and because he did a lot of camera things and does films and everything, it made me be like, okay, I can be on camera. Like even that helped. But I woke up every single day, even now, having like my business and having this podcast and all the things. I wake up every single day and I figure out what can I do for this, because this is what I want my future to be. This is what I want my future you to look like. And if I just am like waking up and doing whatever and then going to sleep, waking up, doing whatever, and then going to sleep, I am not going to have my future you. I'm going to be the exact same that I was a year ago, 2 years ago, a week ago. I'm going to be the same because I'm not getting up and choosing to be who my future self would want me to be and choosing to do things that are going to push me forward. So if you're in that in-between phase where you're just like, okay, I am in this like weird state where this is who I was, but this is who I'm becoming, and I feel just awkward, my message to you is to keep going. That's it. It's to keep going, and don't stop. It's going to feel uncomfortable. You're going to have to get through that discomfort. But once you do, I promise you it's worth it. I promise you that you will be better for it. You'll feel more confident. You'll feel like the version of you that you want to be. You'll be building that life and be living that life that you want to be present for. And it just takes you keep going and keep waking up and choosing to be the person that your future self wants to be. So that is all that I have for you. Thank you guys if you were listening to this brain dump episode and just kind of got confused and lost and you stayed to the end. I appreciate you. I really do. You have no idea. Sometimes, episodes I think come out better when it's just off the dome versus trying to read off a script or read through my notes or whatever I have. This was therapeutic for me. I don't know about you. Maybe this is my therapist path. Maybe it was supposed to be just a podcast where I could just have a little therapy session with you guys. But yeah, I'm feeling a lot more confident. I'm feeling like I have this in the bag and I can do it. And if I can do it, you can do it. I'm just girl who grew up outside of DC with nothing but a dream. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. I think my voice is tired. I've been recording content all day, and the fact that this podcast took me like 2 hours to get going is crazy. But, anyways, love you guys. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week, your morning, your night, your evening. Don't forget to follow me on all social media platforms. Yeah, I think that's it. So, until next time, oh my gosh. Yep, it's time to go. It's time to go. Until next time, everybody. Bye, you guys.